The United Airlines pilot showed up drunk and has been arrested in a foreign country.
That's not good.
Yeah. So this is a United Airlines pilot who was going to pilot the plane from Paris. I wonder if that was Orly or Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle. Anyway, so the pilot shows up to the airport drunk. His license has been suspended. Turned up drunk on Sunday. It was a flight from Paris to Washington Dulles. French media reports the pilot identified as Henry W. I think that's Henry Winkler.
Yeah.
It's
the Fonz? What is this guy?
Hey, it's the Or he's on Barry. He's on the show with Bill Hader. You know.
Hey, Mrs. Cunningham.
He's the acting coach.
Hey, Mrs. C.
Mrs. C. I think they did it.
I think they
And
did too.
I think he's doing like incontinence commercials now. I think
Yes. He does a radio spot for like people who pooped themselves.
Or is that? Oh, he's doing something. I know. I've heard the commercial. Anyway, so the pilot's been identified as Henry W. He's got a 6-month suspension, fined 4,500 euros, and I guess he's having his license suspended for a year. But our FAA would be dealing with that. But they fined him. He was arrested and fined in Paris. According to local media, the pilot obviously exhibited some signs, and there was suspicion about his ability to fly the plane. Luckily, they caught him in Paris before the plane took off. And according to French media, he blew a .132, which is clearly over the U.S. legal limit of .08. And that .132, which is above the driving limit here in the States, but that's more than 3 times the legal limit set by the FAA and 6 times the maximum set by European aviation regulations. Yet United Airlines did not confirm specific details, but in a statement to USA Today, they acknowledged what happened. United said, "We are so sorry that our pilot was drunk off his ass."
And what else can they say?
No, not some of that. They said the safety of our customers and crew is always our top priority. We hold our employees to the highest standards and have a strict no-tolerance policy for alcohol.
Blah, 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 blah.
This employee was immediately removed from service, and we are fully cooperating with local authorities. Do you know what bottle to throttle is?
Yes. I know what the term means.
There's a term called bottle to throttle. And the FAA, you're not supposed to drink anything.
Isn't it like 24 hours?
12 hours.
12 hours.
So I believe the FAA stipulates 12 hours. Fester, do me a favor.
Sure.
Go to the Googles. I know that when I ask Fester to do something on the computer, I'm taking my life into my own hands over here.
Stop it.
I type in FAA, bottle to throttle. Bottle to throttle.
Bottle to throttle.
Time. All right, I believe the FAA is 12 hours. Let's see. However, due to a slow fitness for flight, due to slow deconstruction of alcohol, a pilot may still be under the influence 8 hours after drinking a moderate amount of alcohol. Therefore, an excellent rule is to allow at least 12 to 24 hours between bottle and throttle, depending on the alcoholic beverage consumed.
That isn't necessarily the FAA guideline. That'd be really specific.
I believe the FAA, that was a minimum of 12 hours. Yeah, the airline, but what the point is that some airlines have a more strict bottle to throttle than what the FAA says. So
specifically, the Federal Aviation Administration rulebook states that a pilot may not use alcohol within 8 hours of a flight.
Okay. So they can't use. You know what? I think it was. Was it
extended?
Did they lower it?
And that's why the last thing we read was a better rule is to abstain for 12 hours. All
right, so bottle to throttle, according to this aviation law company website, FAA says pilot may not use alcohol within 8 hours of a flight and cannot have a blood alcohol content above a .04, so half of what is stipulated for automobile driving. Some airlines, such as United, have an even stricter policy. Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make, is that some airlines, they're even stricter than what the federal guidelines are. So, like United is 12 hours, and clearly this dude at Paris flying back to D.C. on United, this pilot did not adhere to that policy.
So I follow a airport encounter YouTube page, and there was a pilot that was going to his flight, walking down the airport and taking like nips of a bottle of whiskey,
out of a flask.
No, out of actual bottle,
like one of those little 1 ounce,
like a little pint,
little roadie mini bottles.
And he's like hitting it, and he's walking to his flight.
Are you in the airport terminal?
Yeah,
he's drinking.
And they have cameras on him everywhere.
What the hell?
And he dumps it in a trash can in the airport. And he went to his plane, and they were like, "You're a little under the influence or whatever." And then you could watch the whole interrogation, and he was hammered. It was great.
Was it a U.S. pilot?
Yeah, it happened. Yeah.
Oh my God!
I'll try to find it.
Yeah, try to find that. I want to see that.